Hello?
Hello, can I speak to Melissa, please?
This is Melissa.
Hi, Melissa. It's Maria calling. I apologize I missed your call today. I'm actually out of the office, but I wanted to return your call because I know we have some delays. So I do apologize for that. I don't have an answer for you right at this moment. I have passed it along to my colleague who is investigating it further. I ran into a bit of a standstill with the content. I was kind of just a lot of content going through everything.
Well, it's
so
10 years of breaches, so I guess that would be a lot of content.
Yeah, exactly. So I know in your letter you had specified some dates, so we kind of tried to focus on that and then work our way backwards and then forwards, if that makes sense. So
Yep.
You had specified in your letter like a case conference. So we identified that case conference, and in the notes from the case conference, didn't find anything.
Well,
but
I have a letter from the Human Rights Commission that states that was said, that my employer's lawyer states that was said, so that's what was said. Yes.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to understand is where can I find that information, because that is, you're right, that's exactly it. Your employer stated that.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to understand where it could have been documented on the file. So I went before and after on both files, and I'm just trying to put everything together. So it's basically, it's still in the works. I do think we're working towards an end date. Now, let me touch base with my colleague. She's out today. She's also been working on the file kind of after I couldn't really find anything. I was tasked somebody else with a similar investigation to see what they could find in case I missed something, and then we'll collectively go through everything. Now, she's in the office hopefully tomorrow, as am I, so I will touch base with her and give you a call back tomorrow. I just wanted to give you that update today.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So
I mean, it doesn't make sense, and it's not on my file because, well, it does make sense it's not on my file because there's a lot of things missing from my file. I had to file a FOIPOP to get a doctor's report. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I did.
Yes.
And I can file a complaint about that too, but the issue is I can file complaints till the cows come home. I file for MAID. I don't have the time to let these complaints deal out. Like, the NDP's involved now, my MLA's involved. Like, this is outright discrimination, and there's a whole lot of other stuff. I just filed an appeal today with a Section 7 charter challenge. So I'm not stopping, and when I made out, I'm just going to legally hand it off to somebody else that's going to carry this forward.
Okay, that sounds good.
That's where I'm at now. So, like, you guys do what you got to do or whatever, but I got people on my end doing what they're already doing, and they have that information. So,
okay.
I guess, because I'm looking right now, I'm looking at the information that Human Rights sent, and right in number 7, it says the conversation they had with my case manager. They even named my case manager.
Yep. And you know what? You attached that letter. I read it myself as well. I'm completely familiar with that. So that's why we've been really diving in to understand where that information would be.
Like, if you guys need to contact Human Rights and you need me to fill anything out, I'm more than happy to do that, because like this has to come to an end, because it's not just me. Like, I got somebody else's information again a couple of weeks ago.
Right.
I did. I got information. Like, there's no need for me to know that Anna Barkin down in Liverpool has an appeal coming up, that she got hurt at work, and that she has an appeal coming up at workers' comp, and there's no need for someone else to get my letter to know that I was injured at work. This is my 25th appeal, and that I work for the Nova Scotia Health Authority.
Right. Yep. Absolutely.
So, I mean, that is a consistent issue with comp. So, I mean, but it doesn't seem like anything's getting. I'm not saying you're not doing anything. That's not what I mean. But it doesn't seem like anything's getting anywhere.
Yeah. So why don't we? Let me see what I can tell you when I have a little bit more information tomorrow. I am hoping that we can get a letter to you. The reason why it's taking a little bit longer is I don't want to just send you a letter saying there's nothing on the file, because I don't think that's fair. That's not.
Well, it's one thing to say there's nothing on the file when I sent you information that states otherwise from Human Rights and from my employer. So,
exactly.
I
So
mean, just
that's
because my case manager didn't note on my file that she informed my employer that I was medicating with cannabis, not that it was prescribed, that I was medicating and I was fired, just because she didn't note that does not mean it did not happen.
That's exactly it. And that's what I'm trying to basically identify. And I'm looking to understand that if it wasn't made note on the file, why not? And what can we do differently to make sure that these conversations are noted on the file in the sense that
But it's
we
workers'
have,
compensation, so their main objective is to save money at the end of the day, and they're known for being crooked. So I mean,
well,
there's that. I know I know you work there and all this stuff, but they're known to be
yes,
crooked and they're known to be liars. Because I'm outright pointing that out.
just,
Like my case is
just be,
so bad, Maria, right now. They've dug themselves into a hole that they're going to waste millions of dollars so that they don't admit that they're wrong. That's what
just
it's
be,
come down to. So like
right.
I
And
got
just
nothing to
because I
lose.
work here doesn't necessarily mean that I agree with
Oh
everything that
no,
is
no,
done. I do.
I know that. That's what I'm trying to say. Like I know it's not you, and I'm just frustrated, but like there seems to be like okay, say if there is a breach, what recourse do I have at that point? Do I have
Um,
any recourse?
so if we do find that the information was shared inappropriately with the employer that is inconsistent with our policy, and we do have a policy that advises us, so information sharing with employers is quite well defined in the sense that our policy is quite clear on what we can and what we cannot share and what elements of the file are shared and when and how. Um,
Because
so
medical information was sent to an employer that shouldn't have been sent to an employer too.
right. So at that point, um, there we can talk about that. The recourse essentially isn't necessarily in the sense that um, it wouldn't be like, oh, someone gets fired over this.
Oh no,
That's
no,
not
no, they
necessary.
don't fire anybody. It's like they're like the church. They just move them up the ladder. No, they do. They're Maria.
And,
I've been in this game for 16 years now, and I've been playing this game, right? And
and that's actually why I
it's
haven't moved
destroyed
up
my
the
life.
ladder.
I got nothing. I destroyed my life. I got nothing. I lost everything. So my only thing right now is to right the wrongs for me. And
Right,
in the
and that's
meantime, I end
totally
up
fair.
hearing from a lot of other injured workers too. So when I tell
Right.
them to file complaints, they
Yep.
file complaints. I'm like, oh, I can't deal with it for you. You gotta deal with this. I'm all about you do it yourself, right? You file the
Yep.
complaints. When they file the complaints against a certain case manager, and there's one I can think of right off the top of my head, six people
Mm-hmm.
I know that I know personally had him as a case manager and filed complaints, and he was made to call five back and apologize. Now that man is now a hearing officer. Those five injured workers that I know of are still in the appeals system. Do you really think that they're going to get a fair rap from him after he's been made to call and apologize to them? No.
So yeah, probably
So I
not.
mean, I know how it works. Like I fully understand that, but it doesn't make it right.
No, I completely agree, and I think that I can do what in terms of what I can do is I can make sure that the learnings are there, how they're interpreted, and how they're um, what we do essentially. So I have a bit of a different reporting structure because I report through not I don't give punishment to caseworkers or anything like that. I give general feedback and then I report through not directly to caseworkers but rather through a like the executive team, so that way that the learnings can be top down. So if there is things we are doing wrong, and I will tell you that sharing information with employers in the sense that we have worked really hard on something like this and there are clearly gaps and I want to know where they are so that we can continue to improve on this area because I don't want these kind of situations where people feel that their employers have received too much information because at the end of the day I take your position because I have an employer too, right? And there's
Exactly.
information that I don't want my employer to know, and I
No.
think everyone deserves the same kind of some kind of respect and dignity in their dealings, right? Your
Yep.
employer at the end of the day is your employer, and they control your income.
Yep. And
So
when a case manager gives your employer your entire medical history, there's a problem.
I agree. I
And that's
completely
exactly what
agree.
happened. Because I had a safety hearing that I wasn't even involved in. I got subpoenaed to testify, and that safety hearing, and you can look the safety hearing up. That safety hearing went from being a safety hearing into my medical information for a whole day. And I was told that if I didn't testify, I was going to be drug in to testify anyway because they subpoenaed me. And then my employer's lawyer said that if I testified, they were going to turn my workers' comp claim into a witch hunt. And I had that in writing. So, I mean,
Right.
there's six and a half and none till Sunday, as we say in Cape Breton. But it all points in one direction. And there's a lot of issues.
Right.
Like, I don't want this to happen to
Yeah.
anybody else. I don't want somebody else to lose their livelihood, to lose everything because of a case manager's inability, or case managers want to appease an employer.
Right. And I completely agree with you. I don't think that's appropriate.
No.
We are set up like as an institution that is a neutral arbitrator of the act, and that's what I hope that people do. And then when people don't, that's kind of a part of my work involves
like
understanding
like
why.
one blatant part is if you look at my file, you're going to find the Corrections Canada file talking a lot about sexual harassment. You know when the
Right.
sexual harassment happened? In 1993, when I was working at the Nova Scotia Liquor Commission.
Right.
And you're going to hear the corrections file talking a lot about a head injury in 2006 when I worked for Capital Health. They shouldn't have known about either one of those.
And I agree. And I
But
wonder
they
if
had full files because my case manager gave it to them, Maria.
right. And I
Nadine's
wonder
worker
if
gave them
that's
everything.
and now I have to go back, and again, this will be in the report that I sent to you. Before I do, I have to go back and understanding. So I think in the past, the reasoning was if someone had a couple injuries, possibly different employers, they were assigned the same caseworker, so they didn't have to kind of hold a couple different relationships in the organization. They could just build and hold that one relationship. But I do want to evaluate that because maybe that's the wrong choice, and maybe
It is
that's
wrong.
what leads.
I've had nine case managers since 2015, and none of them they're just getting worse. They're getting more incompetent all the time. And I'm not saying that because I'm mad at comp or nothing. This is 100% fact. 100% fact. I've been gaslit. Well, my case manager, I walked out of my psychologist appointment last week and said goodbye to her because my case manager will not stop lying to her. And if my case manager won't stop lying to her and she wants me to forget that my case manager is lying to me, then she's not helping me psychologically.
No,
You know what I mean? Like, it don't make no sense. So I said, thanks for trying, but see you later. So, like, literally, like, I am getting my affairs in order and I'm getting ready to go. But someone else is going to take this on for me, unfortunately, because if this hadn't have happened, I wouldn't have to be checking out because I've got medications that aren't being covered. Every single thing is being denied, and the more I stand up for myself, the more of a target I'm putting on my back. So it's easy. What little dignity I do have left, I want to take out myself instead of because I'm going to be doing this for the rest of my life.
right.
So like that's my thing. I just want to make sure whatever can be done is done. This doesn't happen to anybody else, so that nobody else ends up in no one else dies before they're 55.
You're pulling at my heartstrings. Honestly, this is very
No, like
sad here.
I'm dead. Like I'm dead serious. Like I said to my case manager, I said I have no option. I applied for MAID, and you know what my case manager turned around and I had this in writing. My case manager said respectfully, this has nothing to do with your claims. It has everything to do with my claims. So that's how I'm being treated. And I'm not the only one, there's a lot of us. And I'm a first responder with PTSD that's been diagnosed, but workers' comp refuses to accept it, even though it's presumptive legislation at this point. Like, I have legit burnt out every fuse I have trying to fight for myself, and I can't do it anymore. So I'm checking out. I'm handing this off to a friend of mine who's going to carry this the rest of the way because she's involved with the NDP. Like I had to file for bankruptcy, sell my house, move back to my hometown in Cape Breton. Like and they knew this. Because I was, there's nothing that didn't happen or wasn't going on. And I am 100% open. That's me. Everything that's going on, And I told them if I can't get supports, I gotta go home. Didn't get the supports. I'm still waiting for my house to be renovated so I can feed myself. Like, no, Marie, it's gotten to the point where it's ridiculous. That's all. And the NDP called Friday asking if I heard anything on the update, and I said no. I said I'll give her a call on Monday. So that's kind of where I am. Like my papers are filled out. I already had the conversation. My parents are devastated, absolutely devastated.
Of course.
So.
Well,
And I don't mean to pull your heartstrings. That's not what I'm doing. This is fact, and this is what all of this stuff has led to. And I'm still trying to tread water. And I got 2 decisions last week that were denied. So today I'm filing the Section 7 Charter Challenge. And I don't got to tell you what that is. So, and by the time that goes through, I won't be here. But hopefully, it will help the next person, so the next person doesn't have to fight as hard as I did.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because the NDP at this point is ready to put me on the floor of the legislature in a bikini. Because I'm 5'9" and I weigh 103 pounds. And they won't cover meal replacements. So it's
yeah,
but
terrible.
That's neither here nor there. That's got nothing to do with you, and I apologize. I'm just so frustrated.
No, that's okay. I'm here to listen.
It's just frustrating.
Of course, I completely understand. Honestly, it feels like a battle you can't win. I'm sure some days.
Oh no, it's a battle I know I'm not going to win. It's a battle I'm just going to continue to keep trying to put dents in the armor, and then hand the sword off to somebody else, and they can take it the rest of the way. Like I'm trying to set up as much as I can and get as much as I can dealt with, so that they don't have as much to deal with.
Right, makes sense.
But thank you for calling, and thank you for letting me know.
All right. Yes, I'll be in touch tomorrow, okay, with more of an update. Now, I'll let, if my colleague is still out, I'll just call and let you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, we'll chat, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
All right, I'll chat with you soon, and, yeah, I hope to have some more information for you. If not tomorrow, then a little bit later on this week, but I'll chat with you one way or another.
Okay. Thank you, Maria.
Alrighty, no worries.
Okay.
It was nice chatting with you.
It was good chatting with you, too.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.